It was an ordinary Wednesday morning. The kind of day where the sun was just beginning to rise, people were waking up for work, and the world outside seemed to carry on as it always does, unaware of the impending tragedy. But for one mother and her young daughter, this day would not unfold as it should. This was to be the last day they would ever see the light of day, and their morning routine, the same one that countless other families were going through, would soon come to an end. Jennifer Belloni, a mother of 3, was like so many others, working hard, loving her children, dreaming of a better life. On this morning she was preparing to take her kids to school, the small tasks of motherhood that many take for granted. She had no idea that this ordinary morning would soon become the beginning of a nightmare. Jennifer, full of warmth and energy, had no way of knowing that the nightmare she had tried to escape would find its way back to her. For years, Jennifer had been running from a dark past, a history of abuse, of threats, of manipulation. And yet, even as she tried to escape, there was always a shadow following her, creeping closer. Jennifer had fought hard to escape the grasp of her abusive ex-husband, Andre. But the past, as it often does, doesn't let go easily. And it was only a matter of time before that dark force returned, bringing with it destruction far beyond what Jennifer could have ever imagined. But how did this happen? How did the light of Jennifer's life, her daughter Anastasia, get snuffed out so suddenly, so senselessly? How did a mother's love, her attempts to protect her children, lead to such a tragic end? The truth is hidden behind the walls of this small town, behind the smiles and laughter. And now, the time has come to peel back those layers, to uncover what led to this devastating moment. Stay with us as we uncover the truth, piece by piece, and reveal the chilling events that led to one of the most heartbreaking crimes you'll ever hear. Jennifer Belloni was born in the quiet town of North Lauderdale, Florida, a place where everyone knew everyone and where dreams felt limitless. From a very young age, Jennifer showed a remarkable brightness that drew people in. She was the type of person who could light up a room just by walking into it. A true extrovert, her laughter was contagious, and her smile could melt even the coldest of hearts. As a child, Jennifer was the glue that held her family and friends together. She had big dreams, dreams that extended far beyond the small town where she grew up. Her heart was bigger than anyone could have imagined. She didn't just dream for herself, she dreamed for everyone around her. Whether it was helping a friend through tough times or organizing neighborhood fundraisers, Jennifer was always ready to lend a hand, never expecting anything in return. Her ambition, though, was not just about achieving for herself. It was about creating a life that would bring security, love, and happiness to everyone she cared about. She dreamed of building a life filled with success and joy, not just for herself but for her future family. And then, as if by fate, Jennifer's path led her to meet someone who would change the course of her life forever. Andre O'Dane Anglin, a fellow college student. Andre was charming, confident, and undeniably magnetic. The kind of person who could walk into a room and command attention without even trying. His smile was infectious, and his charisma drew Jennifer in immediately. At first, everything seemed perfect. Jennifer had found someone who not only shared her dreams but also made her feel seen, heard, and loved. It wasn't long before the two became inseparable. They spent hours talking about their futures, about what they hoped to accomplish in life, and about the kind of family they wanted to build together. They were young, in love, and full of dreams. The world was at their feet and everything seemed possible. But what Jennifer didn't know, what no one could have predicted, was that the man she loved, the man she trusted with her heart, would soon become the source of her deepest fears. As Jennifer and Andre's relationship blossomed, so did their dreams. Together they built a future in their minds, one where they would both be successful and happy, surrounded by love and security. But with each passing day, Andre's charming exterior began to crack. Jennifer started to see glimpses of something darker, something more unsettling beneath the surface. It was subtle at first, a raised voice here, a harsh word there. But those cracks would eventually widen, leading to a transformation Jennifer never could have prepared for. At this point, Jennifer didn't know what was to come. She was too wrapped up in the joy of their love to see the storm that was brewing just below the surface. But soon the relationship would take a darker turn. And before long, the man who had swept her off her feet would become someone Jennifer would fear more than anyone in the world. At first, everything seemed perfect. Andre was everything Jennifer had dreamed of, confident, successful, loving. But over time, something changed. The man she once adored slowly transformed into someone entirely different. What was once charm became manipulation. What was once care turned into control. Andre, the man Jennifer had fallen in love with, became someone she was afraid of, someone who held her life in a vice-like grip. Andre's transformation was subtle at first. Small things at first unnoticed by Jennifer began to build up. His charming demeanor began to fade, replaced by subtle controlling behavior. He started to make all the decisions, dictating where they would go, what they would do, and even what Jennifer could wear. But the most insidious shift was his treatment of her. He became possessive, controlling, and emotionally manipulative. Andre wouldn't work. He refused to contribute financially to the household, leaving Jennifer to carry the weight of the family alone. Despite Jennifer holding everything together, working, paying the bills, caring for their children, Andre spiraled deeper into his own personal troubles. He spent money recklessly, draining their finances and making it impossible for Jennifer to find peace or stability. But it wasn't just Andre's refusal to take responsibility that weighed on Jennifer's heart. It was his temper. His outbursts, once rare, became more frequent, more violent. The man who had once whispered sweet words of love in her ear was now screaming at her, belittling her, making her feel small, unimportant, and powerless. With every outburst, Andre's anger seemed to grow. The threats he made, threats to leave, to destroy everything, became more real. Jennifer tried to ignore it, tried to convince herself that this was just a phase, that he could change. She believed in him. She believed that with enough support, enough love, he would find his way back to the man she fell in love with. But Jennifer was holding on to a version of Andre that no longer existed. The man she loved was slipping away, and she didn't know how to stop it. Her optimism, her belief in him, was fading. But her heart refused to let go. She wanted so badly for things to go back to the way they were. She believed in the good even when it seemed like there was none left. And so Jennifer stayed. She stayed, believing that love was enough to fix everything. She stayed even as Andre's grip on her life tightened. She stayed even as the man who once promised to love and protect her slowly became the one who would hurt her most. By 2018, Jennifer had endured years of emotional, verbal, and physical abuse. The man who once promised to love her had become a nightmare. And despite every effort she had made to protect her family, the situation only seemed to escalate. She had reached her breaking point. In 2018, Jennifer took a brave step. She filed for a restraining order, a move that would hopefully protect her and her children from Andre's ever-growing volatility. It was a moment of courage. Jennifer was finally saying enough was enough. She could no longer stand by as Andre's abuse wore her down. Jennifer's courage was undeniable. She sought the help of the legal system to shield her children and herself from the man who had once been her partner. But the system, one she hoped would protect her, failed her. The restraining order was dismissed. In a cruel twist, the system failed to offer Jennifer the protection she so desperately needed. A legal document that was supposed to be her shield became nothing more than a piece of paper. The hope that she had pinned on it quickly crumbled. But even after the restraining order was dropped, Jennifer didn't give up. She refused to turn her back on Andre completely. Despite everything he had done, despite his abusive behavior, she continued to help him financially, hoping, perhaps naively, that he could change. She believed that if she just kept supporting him, if she kept offering him a lifeline, he would eventually pull himself out of his downward spiral. It was the kind of unconditional love that only Jennifer could give. She believed, perhaps foolishly, that with enough support, Andre would change, that he would turn his life around. But despite Jennifer's unwavering optimism and her best efforts, the situation continued to deteriorate. The support, the love, the financial help, it wasn't enough. Andre's behavior only grew more erratic, more dangerous, until one day Jennifer realized that she couldn't fix him. She couldn't save him. And no matter how much she loved him, he wasn't willing to change. In her heart, Jennifer knew that she couldn't keep sacrificing herself, her sanity, her family's safety, just to try to fix Andre. But even so, she couldn't let go. She loved him, and that love made it so much harder to break free. It's the heartbreaking reality for so many victims of abuse. No matter how hard they try to escape, no matter how many times they pick up the pieces, the abuser always finds a way to pull them back in. In 2020, after years of relentless emotional abuse, physical threats, and manipulative behavior, Jennifer made the hardest decision of her life. She filed for divorce. After all the years of hoping Andre would change, after all the promises he had made, Jennifer could no longer pretend that things could be fixed. The man she loved, the man she thought she knew, was gone. And in his place was a stranger, a monster who had taken away her peace, her safety, and her sense of self. Jennifer knew that filing for divorce wasn't the end of her battle. It was just the beginning. She had fought for so long to hold her family together, to save Andre, but now she had to fight for herself and her children. It was a painful step, one that would not come without consequences. She was about to face Andre's wrath, and she knew it would be far from easy. Despite the divorce, Andre wouldn't let go that easily. His obsession with Jennifer, his refusal to accept the end of their relationship, turned into a nightmare. He began to stalk her. He showed up at her workplace, at her home, pressuring her to reconcile, to come back to him. No. Jennifer was no longer just facing a broken marriage. She was facing the threat of her life. Andre's behavior had become unpredictable and dangerous. He no longer respected boundaries. He no longer respected her. Every phone call, every knock on her door, every text message was a reminder that she was still tethered to him by a thread of fear and manipulation. Jennifer had reached her breaking point. The cycle of fear, false hope, and manipulation had worn her down. The constant threats from Andre, the guilt, the love she still felt for him, it had all become too much. Jennifer knew that she couldn't keep living in this toxic nightmare. It was suffocating her. But even as she made the decision to push Andre away, he was relentless. The toxic grip Andre had on Jennifer was impossible to break, not because of love, but because of control. He had poisoned her mind for so long that Jennifer couldn't even remember what freedom felt like. And every time she tried to escape, every time she took a step toward a life without him, Andre would find a way to drag her back in. Jennifer's strength had gotten her this far, but the emotional toll was becoming too much. She felt trapped in a cycle she couldn't break. No matter how many steps she took forward, Andre always seemed to pull her back. It was a constant battle, and Jennifer wasn't sure how much longer she could keep fighting. On that fateful morning, Jennifer believed it was just another ordinary day. She woke up, made breakfast, and prepared her children for school as mothers do every day. It was supposed to be a routine morning, nothing out of the ordinary. But for Jennifer and her children, The normal routine was about to be shattered in the most horrific way imaginable. Jennifer had packed her children into the car, ready to send them off to school. It was just another morning filled with the little mundane tasks that come with being a mother. The car was already warmed up, the doors open as Jennifer ensured her kids were settled in. But little did she know, someone was watching. Someone who had no intention of letting her leave that morning, not without destroying everything she had worked so hard to build. Andre had been lying in wait. He had been watching them, stalking them, waiting for the right moment. He knew this was his chance, the one moment where he could take back control, where he could shatter everything that Jennifer had built in her fight for freedom. At 7 a.m., Jennifer and her children stepped outside their home. The morning seemed just like any other. Jennifer, in her usual fashion, checked her kids in the car, ready to send them off to school, but little did she know, Andre was lying in wait, just a few feet away from her. He was no longer the man she once loved. He had become something else. And in that moment, that transformation would reach its terrifying peak. Without warning, gunshots rang through the air, shattering the silence and the illusion of peace. Andre ambushed them. The first shot hit Jennifer. She fell, crumpling to the ground, the force of the impact knocking the breath out of her. But Andre didn't stop. He turned his gun toward their daughter, Anastasia, her innocent eyes wide in shock as she tried to comprehend what was happening. And then, just like that, both their lives were taken in cold blood. Jennifer and Anastasia were gone. The violence, the terror that Andre had brought into their lives, had culminated in this one horrific moment. The man who once swore to protect Jennifer, to love her, had turned into her executioner. And in that instant, everything she had worked so hard for, the life she tried to build, the future she dreamed of for her children, was destroyed forever. It wasn't just the loss of two lives that was devastating, it was the senselessness of it all. Jennifer had tried everything. She had fought for years, taken legal steps, and even offered Andre help. But none of that mattered. In the end, the violence that had simmered beneath the surface for so long finally boiled over, taking away two of the most precious people in Jennifer's life. The loss of Jennifer and Anastasia sent shockwaves through their community, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of everyone who knew them. North Lauderdale, once a peaceful town, was now reeling from the violence that had shattered its sense of security. Neighbors, friends, and family were left in disbelief. How could this happen? Why did it have to happen to them? Jennifer's family was devastated by the senselessness of the crime. They couldn't understand how the woman they knew, someone who had always been so loving, so giving, could be taken from them in such a brutal, horrific way. Her family had seen her fight for her children, for her own survival. They had watched her try everything in her power to escape the grip of her abuser, yet none of it seemed to matter. The violence she endured was only matched by her unwavering determination to protect those she loved. Jennifer's mother, like so many others, was left asking questions that would never be answered. How could a man who once promised to love and protect her daughter turn into someone capable of such horror? And how could the system, designed to protect victims, fail so spectacularly? The heartbreak was not just for the loss of Jennifer and Anastasia, but for the stolen future that had been taken from them so violently. Authorities immediately launched a manhunt for Andre, hoping to bring him to justice for the brutal murders of Jennifer and Anastasia. With his history of violence and threats, it was clear to investigators that he was capable of more violence. The community, once safe and familiar, was now on edge, waiting for news on his whereabouts, hoping for an end to the nightmare. Andre was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities had tracked him down to a public restroom at a Circle K gas station in Fort Lauderdale. When they arrived, they found him unresponsive, having taken his own life. His death marked the end of the immediate threat to the community, but it did nothing to bring back Jennifer or Anastasia. Their lives were gone forever, and with them, the future they had hoped for, one filled with love, peace, and possibility. While Andre's death brought a sense of closure to the immediate danger, it couldn't erase the pain or the loss. The grief of losing Jennifer and Anastasia was felt deeply by all who knew them. Friends and family were left to pick up the pieces of a shattered future, clinging to memories of the joy Jennifer and Anastasia had brought into their lives. The community, too, would never be the same. The shock of such a senseless crime reverberated through the hearts of everyone who called North Lauderdale home. Jennifer and Anastasia's tragic story is a reminder of the brutal realities of domestic violence. It's a call to all of us to recognize the signs, to offer support, and to protect those who need it most. Their lives were taken far too soon, but their memory will live on in the hearts of those who loved them forever. Jennifer Belloni's life was one of resilience and hope. She was a mother who gave everything for her children, doing everything in her power to protect them, to escape the chains of an abusive relationship, and to build a future that would bring her family peace and happiness. She fought tirelessly for a better tomorrow, not just for herself but for her children, for the life they deserved. But despite her strength and her determination, the violence she endured took everything from her. But even in the wake of this unimaginable loss, Jennifer and Anastasia's story remains a powerful testament to love, to the fight for a better life, and to the unbreakable bond between mother and daughter. Their story, though heartbreaking, serves as a reminder of the importance of recognizing the signs of abuse, offering support to those who are suffering, and taking action before it's too late. Jennifer and Anastasia's lives were taken far too soon, but their legacy will live on, carried in the hearts of those who loved them. Their story, tragic as it is one of strength, courage, and the undying hope that one day, no one will have to face such violence. Their memory will not be forgotten. Let Jennifer and Anastasia's story remind us all of the importance of being vigilant, of supporting those in need, and of never turning a blind eye to the suffering of others. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please reach out for help. You are not alone. Thank you for watching. If you find this story inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss any future stories. Share this video with friends and family. Together we can make a difference. See you in the next video.